Hi guys, my name is Adnan Hasbi and I'd like to wish you a warm welcome towards another episode of Rambling of an Analyst. I think this will probably be one of the last few episodes which I will be creating for Rambling of an Analyst for the year 2020. I think in this episode we are going to do a quick wrap up as to what happened during the year and what I've learned. And finally, we are just going to say goodbye as friends and hopefully that we can meet next year. First and foremost, if you see any mistakes and if you see that I don't do any editing, one of the reasons why is I wanted to record this as live as possible. And as some of you may know, one of the reasons why I cannot do this live is that I still don't know how to create slides and at the same time show a live or create a live episode on YouTube. So for that, I really apologize. But let's just move on to, I guess, what I've learned during the year and move on with regards to the stocks that we picked during the year. So we're just going to do a quick little wrap up. So right now, I'm kind of looking at my slides right now as a reference. The time right now is about 4 p.m. and I just want to thank all you guys from the bottom of my heart for the subs, the likes you guys have given me on the videos and also the questions. Only with all of these questions that allowed me to think and to go beyond my comfort zone and the box which I've always been living for the longest time. I think you guys actually helped me improve to be a much better analyst, and with that I hope that I managed to find you guys good stocks for you to invest. So yeah, so moving on to the next slide. I know I'm using the slides as crutches and I do apologize for the abrupt changes in, I guess, the thought pattern. So to tell you guys the truth, when I first started this channel, I was 110% afraid. During that point in time, as some of you may know, I left my organization, which I've worked for the past 15 years as an analyst. And and being in the financial industry, we kind of always look at how much of salary that we get, how much of money is in our bank account. But having said that, I always wanted to have a lifestyle away from the desk. I wanted to see the world a little bit. I wanted to explore. And one of the ideas which I had waking up one morning was to create a YouTube channel helping prospective investors on how to invest in stocks. And I wasn't sure whether, among the questions which I had was whether creating a YouTube channel will allow me to have a sustainable business, whether I'll make mistakes and I'll probably be viral for making mistakes. And all of these questions actually came into my head. And as some of you may know, sometimes when I go live, I'm afraid my glasses will fall off or something horrible might happen. But having said that, I always wanted to help. And if you look at my origin story, I came from a relatively middle class background, and we had to work for a lot of things. And I remembered a lot of my aunts, uncles, very close relatives to me at the age where they should retire, but they didn't quite managed to do so. I think one of the reasons why is that not many of us were taught financial literacy, and it pained me so much to actually see my aunts and uncles asking for money at the age where they should retire. And with that, I always made I guess a promise to myself that I want to teach maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people. But at that point in time, I think there was the COVID, the whole pandemic, and to call my friends to talk to them about financial literacy, I think would be just a bit off the wall. So I decided to actually create a small YouTube channel so as to help prospective investors coming into the market. So I wanted to share as many things which I know about the market to you guys. And that's one of the reasons why I just created the channel. I didn't care about monetization in the beginning, and I just always had faith that things will always work out, right? So I didn't know what would happen. I still remember my first few episodes. No one actually watched my YouTube channel. No one actually watched my YouTube videos. In fact, when I put it up in some of the Facebook groups, there were some people which, were not the happiest, and it was not easy when I first started my YouTube channel. And there were also some YouTube episodes which I made, which I received not the most friendliest of remarks. But having said that, I always kept on moving. I always kept on remembering what my goals were, which is to teach as many people how to be better money managers. And when I actually did that, this was amongst the stocks that we managed to find, and I'm so proud that some of you actually even invested in some of my ideas. So to recap, we actually talk about the 5G sector, and over here some people actually they found XOX, which actually 4 times in terms of its stock price. And I also talked about AirAsia since July, my friends. And at that point in time, I know that I mentioned AirAsia is going to be volatile. And lo and behold, AirAsia stock price was very volatile. But at the lowest point at 50 cents, if one were to invest it, they would already have doubled their money. So with regards to this call, you can see that I've never taken down any of my videos. I've always stick to my guns, whatever I said, I wanted to share with you guys, and hopefully you guys actually managed to monetize on some of my ideas. The next thing we covered was Kawan Food. Admittedly, I covered this relatively slow, by which time the stock price would have tripled in value. The next was I covered the Water Boys, which made 1% per day. I still remember it, when the whole Selangor had a water outage. The next thing was UEM. If you would have bought the stock when I first initially gave the coverage, compared to the price today, I think this is UEM. The price would have already almost 40% in value. Aside from that, as many of you guys know, I covered Maybank and also YTL. At that point in time, when I covered it and the price today, I think it rose by 10% and 20% respectively. And these were the stocks that we covered. Okay, guys, and I guess to conclude, right? I hope that some of these topics managed to help you guys in your investment. I hope that it managed to increase your net worth value, I think. Yeah, on a more personal level, these are the things which I've learned, and I want to share it with you guys. So when I first created this channel, I did not know what I was doing, right? And I just did it on the faith that the more you give, the more you get. And I still remember when I was giving all of the stock tips and stock advice, I didn't say make money from this particular channel. In fact, if you guys can see, I'm still at the 700 mark. I still cannot monetize on this particular channel. But having said that, I actually received in other avenues. And the other avenues was I managed to get good ideas, and I actually managed to invest in maybe 1 or 2 stocks, and I made a bit of money. So with that, I would like to thank you guys for all the questions that you asked and gave us that idea and sparked that particular idea. The second thing which I learned during this journey, and I want to share with you guys, and hopefully you guys can actually take benefit from this, is, and I hope that you guys can take benefit from this, is that I managed to be more aware of how I trade. Every time when I want to make a particular YouTube episode, I know that people are watching, and that made me more self-conscious and more aware of what I was doing. And in getting awareness, I managed to actually see my weaknesses and see my strengths. And this is the point which I want to impart with you guys. When you guys are aware of where you are right now, only then you can actually path the journey towards where you want to go. But if we don't truthfully tell ourselves where we really are, or if we deny, or if we don't want to even be aware of where we are, it is very difficult to actually know where we're going. We don't even know where to start. So, how do we know where we're going to go? So number one, the biggest lesson which I learned from creating this YouTube channel was being aware. Really helped me. And I hope by me telling you and sharing with you guys this particular thing, I hope that 2021 you guys are more aware, take note of where you are right now, and maybe if you guys want, know where you are, and maybe chart the path of where you want to go. The second thing which I learned, and this was very difficult for me, is to always tell the truth. I think being in a startup space, we tend to always embellish or talk about how good a particular product, and we tend to not talk about how bad a particular product is, when we are pitching towards investors and whatnot. And also as an analyst, sometimes I have this ability to talk so much, I confuse my audience to a state where, the answer is not really a yes, it's not really a no. In fact, you don't really even know what I'm trying to say. So over here, when I was creating this particular channel, it forced me to always tell the truth, to always make things simple. And when telling the truth and when keeping things simple, what happened is all of this major clutter just got off my head. And right now, I have more clarity, and with more clarity, it allowed me to actually move faster towards the goal. The third thing which I want to share with you and I want to impart with you is you can see that I have always been struggling towards making sense, towards being brave in front of camera. That's the first thing. I've always been afraid. The second thing is that I sometimes being relatively dyslexic, you can kind of tell from this live episode, which is relatively raw. You can kind of tell how my mind jumps. It's really hard for me to stick in one idea. So that's one of the reasons why when it came towards creating episodes, it was so long. My mind was this big jumble. So what I want to say over here is that after increasing my comfort zone, after taking all the uncomfortable steps, after telling myself the truth, and after being aware of where I am right now and where I want to go, what this allowed me to do was to be a much better version of myself. And I hope that you guys can actually take some lessons with regards to investing and this particular slide over here, whereby if you guys want to maybe achieve a particular goal, please be aware, tell you guys and always tell ourselves the truth. And the final thing is, when you want to achieve something much more, we have to stretch out the comfort zone. And as you guys know, right now I have this $0 to $100 challenge, and at this point in time I'm still at $0. But you know what? I'm not going to give up. I'm going to continue fighting, and I know with enough proper action, anything is possible. Okay, guys. I just want to just tell you guys thank you from the bottom of my heart. It has been an amazing journey. Some of you guys has been amazing. Some of the questions really helped change the way I look at things. And thank you so very much for all the kind words that you guys have given me. I could not have done it without your kind support. Okay, guys. I don't know. The camera is relatively small. I'm actually really touched right now for when doing a smaller wrap up. And guys, I hope that all of us succeed towards our goals. As I mentioned to you, write down your goals. I'm currently creating this 1-minute episode where I'm going to talk a little bit about how to set goals, how to achieve goals. And guys, with that, I know this episode has been a big garble if you have stayed this long. to actually listen to me. I thank you so very much, and take care.